Sage Steele, Stephen A. Smith in that conversation. We will go now to the NFL. I'd love to lead a team. Nick Foles said that at the end of the 2018 season. And all signs point to the Jaguars as that team in 2019. First reported by Philly.com and confirmed by ESPN, the 30-year-old free agent expected to sign with Jacksonville once the new league year opens on March 13th. Jaguars reporter Mike DiRocco on why the Jaguars want the MVP of Super Bowl 52 and will end the Blake Bortles experiment.
Doug Marrone made it clear at the Combine he preferred to add a veteran quarterback for what is a make-or-break season, not just for him, but for GM Dave Caldwell and even VP Tom Coughlin.
In a perfect scenario for me, I like it where the quarterback knows more and everyone else has to catch up to the quarterback. If you're waiting for the quarterback to catch up to everyone else on offense, then you're not going to progress the way you want to.
The Jaguars' offensive coordinator is John DeFilippo, Foles' quarterback coach with Philadelphia in the Super Bowl. So Foles would indeed know the offense better than anyone else this spring. Though DeFilippo struggled in Minnesota because he threw the ball too much, Coughlin wants the Jaguars to be built around the run and have success with play-action passes. DeFilippo is receptive to that, and Foles is a good fit, accurate with a quick release and decisive with his reads. If Leonard Fournette returns to rookie form, the Jaguars could again have the balance that made them the 6th-ranked offense in 2017. That would be just fine by the Jaguars' stars on defense. Players grew weary of having to carry the offense much of last season, especially the last 5 weeks when the offense scored just 2 touchdowns. The defense knew it had to hold opponents to single digits, and in some cases less than a touchdown, to even have a chance. Owner Shad Khan didn't say the Jaguars had to make the playoffs for Coughlin, Caldwell, and Marrone to keep their jobs, but they better at least be in the hunt in December.
When aren't we under a lot of pressure to win? You look at the way the league is now, there's 32 of these jobs. You can never take it for granted.
And Foles, from his skill set to his mindset, gives Marrone the best chance to keep his.
And Louis Riddick joins us from the NFL Combine with much more on this big story. What kind of fit would Nick Foles be with the Jaguars offense?
Yeah, this is the kind of fit that you're looking for when you're talking about veteran free agent acquisitions. John DeFilippo, new offensive coordinator in Jacksonville, has a previous history with Nick Foles. This is what sets you up for success because he understands what Nick needs. Nick understands the kind of plays and the kind of rhythm that John DeFilippo has as far as being a play caller or just being a quarterback tutorer, and it just matches up. You have the makings here of a very, very smart transaction at the most important position on the football team, the kind that truly can take you from being not only an AFC title contender, but a Super Bowl contender if everything plays out the way it should.
And Foles has shown us he has that playoff experience the last 2 years. Now, the Combine wraps up today in Indy. From what you've seen and what you've heard about Kyler Murray, what do you think the Cardinals will do with that first overall pick, Louis?
Yeah, you know what? The opinions on that really kind of vary from day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute. Just from a pure fit perspective, not necessarily just throwing the football, but because of how Kyler can make off-schedule plays and make that offense more dynamic, which is what it needs, he fits into not only what this offense needs, but what this organization needs, which is an infusion of electricity and excitement for that fan base. So I could totally see it happening. We'll just have to see on opening night, of the draft in Nashville. That's what's going to make this so exciting because there is, without a doubt, an argument to be made for him to be selected there, #1 overall to Arizona. And there's also, from a pure football sense perspective, I could see why they may trade out of there and get some extra picks. So tune in, man. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, and they need a ton of help, like you said. April 25th. Cannot wait to watch the draft on ESPN ABC. Louis, thank you so much. Later on this hour, Todd McShay is going to join us to give us his top 3 winners not named Kyler Murray at the Combine.
SportsCenter on the road is presented by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans.
It's the playoffs. Zion Williamson was 4, and that was 14 years ago.
Long time ago. It's one thing to lose important games down the stretch late in the season. It's another thing to do it the way LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers have been doing it. Let's just say it was not a good weekend for the purple and gold. Their downward spiral continued Friday night against the Bucks, who still have the best record in the league. But LA was outscored 15-2 in the final 3 minutes, and the game ended with LeBron leaving the floor before time ran out. What? Okay, next night they went from facing the team with the best record in the league to the worst. Similar results, though. They fell to the Suns, trailing by as many as 19 points. Watch this in the third quarter. LeBron lazy, inbounding off the backboard. That's a turnover. That's not good. And then if they're going to rebound this week, it will not be easy. They have 3 games, all against current playoff teams. Tonight, they host the Clippers, then the Nuggets on Wednesday, and the Celtics Saturday night on ABC. That face says it all there. No rest for the weary. Here's LeBron today.
I don't believe that we're flawed. I believe we're a little bit inexperienced. I believe we have some things that we can always get better at. I think we're a young team, and we all knew that coming into the season. And we're putting together a team, to be together for the first year and trying to figure things out on the fly. I don't want to say that there's a problem with this team. And when you're not winning ball games, you can always say, "Oh, there's a problem." I don't believe in that. I believe there's things that we can do much better and be more consistent. But we still, have an opportunity to be great today, and we should take advantage of that, or at least try to.
If the Lakers are going to make the postseason, they're going to have to do what's rarely been done before. Here's the thing. They're 4.5 games out of a playoff spot with just 19 games left to play. Only 3 teams have made the playoffs facing this large of a deficit this late in the season. The 97 Washington Bullets, the 02 Raptors, and the 05 New Jersey Nets. And none of them went on to win a playoff series. Stephen A. Smith will be in Los Angeles all week as the Lakers start a 3-game stretch that really could decide their season. And Stephen A. LeBron has got to lead the way if they're going to defy the odds and somehow make the playoffs. We just saw him leaving the court early against Milwaukee. So let's start with him. What do you need to see from him over these final 19 games?
Better leadership. Not stop pointing the finger at other people for mistakes that you make. LeBron James is arguably the greatest player in the world. We all know that. But the flip side is that he hasn't been himself defensively. There's a lot of defensive assignments he's missed, and engaging in histrionics and being demonstrative on the basketball court, pointing the finger at other people. That's just not going to cut it in the eyes of his teammates. That definitely is point number 1. Point number 2 is just recognizing the fact that the Lakers are on the brink of elimination and playing like it. If the Los Angeles Lakers lose tonight, in my estimation, they lose tonight to the Los Angeles Clippers, they're not making the playoffs. This is it for them. As far as I'm concerned, this is the last go-round. This is the last dance. They don't make it. They don't win the night's game against the Clippers. They're not making the playoffs. Play like it. Play with a level of desperation and encourage your teammates to do the same and encourage your coach to do the same. And you might still have salvation somewhere along the line.
Yeah. All right, let's assume that they don't make the playoffs, because at this point it is a very, very, very long shot, just to be nice. What's the long-term fallout, Stephen A., if they don't make these playoffs this year?
I'm not worried about the long-term fallout based on whether or not they make the playoffs this year. I'm worried about the long-term fallout stage in the event that LeBron James and Magic Johnson can recruit anybody to come to L.A. We're not hearing about Kevin Durant being a Laker. We're hearing about Kyrie potentially willing to come to the Lakers, but I don't know how reasonable or that is. Obviously, the Jimmy Butlers of the world, the Kawhi Leonards of the world, the Anthony Davis you need, the Pelicans to cooperate. We know all of those things. It is entirely possible that the Lakers could go out there and get a couple of elite guys to join LeBron James, or get absolutely, positively nothing. And if that ends up being the case this summer, with the following summer, LeBron's movie Space Jam coming out. Remember, it was Michael Jordan before. Now it's him. All those things that he had in his vision, all of those things that he was planning, everything begins to unravel and fall apart if they don't get him some help this summer. That's what it comes down to.
But also to your
bubble wrap. Protect Tony, right? Zion, meanwhile, could be back tomorrow. The star freshman hasn't been ruled out for tomorrow's game against Wake Forest, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. It's been nearly 2 weeks since Williamson suffered the injury to his knee. He has been out for 3 games, and here's Coach K today on his progress.
It's still day-to-day, but he's in phase 4 of the 4-phase program, and it's just a matter of how long he stays in it, and we feel comfortable. We had another good day of therapy and band work and conditioning yesterday, and he's moving forward.
Latest AP poll, Duke dropping to 4th, matching their lowest rank of the season. They face their rivals, North Carolina, on the road Saturday. The first time all year the Tar Heels are ahead of them in the poll. Gonzaga and Virginia maintain the top 2 spots. Speaking of the Cavaliers, Game Day's Jay Billis will be on the call. Virginia's contest against Syracuse tonight. And Virginia has only 2 losses this season, Jay, both to Duke. How would you define this Virginia team?
I would define them as the nation's best defensive team, and they are far more versatile than they've been in past years. I don't necessarily believe that this is Tony Bennett's best team. It's right there among his best teams. But this team can really shoot the ball from the perimeter. They've got a number of playmakers, and DeAndre Hunter is the #1 playmaker. And when you see him against Syracuse in the middle of that zone, he's going to cause some unique problems for Syracuse in the middle because of his ability to make that shot, to put the ball on the floor, to be able to pass it, and then he's got shooters all around him. So I think Virginia is legit. The fact they've only lost 2 games, they're on track to win another ACC regular season title. They're the real thing. It's just they're going to have to get over the hurdle, and it's everyone else's mental hurdle of what happened last year against UMBC. That's always going to be a trump card. People are going to say, well, you lost to UMBC, but they're just going to have to get over it.
Yeah, that Cinderella upset, the perception, of course, clouding the reality, and you saw the graphic there. We saw Virginia #1 in BPI. A look at the top 5 teams BPI likes to win the national championship, and you see Gonzaga leads the way. The ACC with 3 teams in the top 5 with Virginia, Duke, and North Carolina there. You can only pick one here, Jay. Who will cut down the nets, the ACC or the field?
That's a good question. ACC or the field? I would take the ACC because of the reasons I stated on Virginia. If Zion Williamson is healthy, Duke is a favorite to get to the Final Four. And I think North Carolina is one of the underrated, if you can call them that, a #1 seed contenders. And it probably won't be Duke and Carolina getting #1 seeds, but they're both worthy of it. And I think both are worthy of the Final Four.
All right, in the last decade, keep this in mind, the ACC can claim 4 titles, 2 by Duke and 2 by North Carolina. Virginia, Syracuse, Jay Billis, Sean McDonough, Allison Williams. Top of the hour here on ESPN from the Dome. Thank you so much. And there is that promo reminding you we got a great contest. We can check out those Cavaliers against that zone there at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then later on, it's #8 Texas Tech hosting Texas and Lubbock. Both games available on the ESPN app, so you could watch it anywhere. Sage?
3 days after video emerged involving San Francisco Giants CEO Larry Baer in a public physical altercation with his wife, Baer announced today he will be taking a leave of absence. He apologized a few hours after the video went viral, and his wife Pam later corroborated his story, saying she was not injured during the altercation, which began when she took his cell phone and she said she wouldn't give it back. Here's another look at the video, which was taken at a park in San Francisco and obtained by TMZ. The argument reportedly lasted about 20 minutes. In the online video, you can hear her screams as Baer wrestles her to the ground. Pam Baer says she lost her balance in the chair because of a foot injury sustained 3 days prior. Here is the statement released by the Giants today. Mr. Baer has acknowledged that his behavior was unacceptable, apologized to the organization, and is committed to taking steps to make sure this never happens again. As leaders in the community, we at the Giants hold ourselves to the highest standards, and those standards will guide how we consider this matter moving forward. End quote. Other baseball news, Dodgers ace Clayton Kershaw may not be ready for opening day as he continues dealing with shoulder inflammation, that according to manager Dave Roberts. He's reportedly been able to play catch for the past 5 days, but has not been able to throw a bullpen session since telling the team about the soreness back on February 20th. Kershaw has made 8 consecutive opening day starts. That's 6 shy of the record set by Hall of Famer Jack Morris. Kershaw's recent injury history could provide more reason to proceed with extra caution potentially. He's been on the DL 4 times in the last 3 seasons after going on it once in his first 8 combined. 3 of the 4 trips, by the way, have been related to his back.
Next on SportsCenter, the Celtics have lost 5 of their last 6. What Stephen A. Smith thinks Kyrie Irving needs to change to get the C's back on track. Plus, Kyler Murray. They've been the talk of Indy in the last week, but who are Todd McShay's other NFL Combine winners? Find out when SportsCenter returns next.